Okay, so we're going to try to do 5.4, Intro to Polynomials. All right, so there's a little bit of vocabulary. Polynomials are made up of terms, and those terms are variable terms and constant terms. And there's some info, and we need to look at degree and what else? Leading. There's a couple of terms: degree, leading, and pretty much that's the main things. Okay, so polynomials are made up of terms, and these terms, we used to refer to them as variable terms, because they had variables in them. So variables like x and p and t and so forth like that. You can also have a constant term that looks like a 5 or a 22 or a 24 or a -4 or something like that. They're just numbers without variables next to them. Sometimes we talked about the fact that really a 5 is really, maybe if you're working with x's, that's the same as this, because 5, that's the same as 5 times a 1, anything to the x power. So we're putting things in order, in exponential order for polynomials when we work with them. You might want to consider constant terms are types of polynomials that have variable to the exponent 0 with them, is one way to think about that. But anyway, those are the constants versus the variable terms. And when we talk about polynomials in general, there is if you have, like, let's say 2x squared, that is considered a monomial because it's a one term. Okay, if you have 2x squared plus 5, that would be a binomial because it's a polynomial with more than with two terms. Okay, if you have 2x squared plus x plus 5, that's called a trinomial because it has 3 terms. And these are types of polynomials, and anything more than 3, it's just called so more than 3 terms is just referred to as a polynomial. And try to make sure you order them exponentially. So if you have 2x to the 4th minus 3x to the 3rd plus x squared minus 2x plus 5, that would be considered ordered. Okay, so they were ordered by exponential order. So this is the variable term that has an exponent of a 4 would be the leading term with a degree of 4. This variable term here has a degree of 3. This term has a degree of 2. This term has a degree of 1. You just don't see it, right? You could write it in there. And this really has a degree of 0. So this is a polynomial in degree order. The leading term is 2x to the 4th. The degree of this polynomial is 4. The leading degree is 4. The leading term is 2x to the 4th. The degree of this polynomial is 4 because that's the largest polynomial exponent term in this polynomial. And then you typically should put them in order when you work with them. So that's the basics on the terminology for this chapter.